Hi friend, I just wanted to take a minute to invite you to our Lash Biz Babes Experience 2026. This is a one-day all online event happening on May 2nd, and our theme for the year is going all in. We are shaking things up and doing it differently than anyone ever has before. This is going to be an all online event as usual, but it's going to be 100% a curated journey throughout your day as we guide you through the mindset, strategy, and passion needed to go all in on your business to make it your best year in business yet. All lash artists, estheticians, and beauty professionals are invited to join us. There will be guided sessions, interactive workshops, a panel discussion, and big giveaways happening throughout that whole day. And tickets are on sale now for only $199. Payment plans are available. Let's go all in on our businesses for 2026 together. All the details and the link for tickets are down in the show notes below. I would love to have you join us online in May. Welcome to Lash Biz Babes, the podcast for solo beauty business owners who want to build a full clientele and create a business and life that they truly love. My name is Erica. I'm your host. I'm a lash artist turned beauty business coach, lash educator, and social media manager for salons and beauty businesses. I'm so happy that you're here. Let's go ahead and jump into today's episode. Welcome to this week's episode of Lash Biz Babes. My name is Erica. I'm your host, and this week we're going to be talking about a very highly requested topic, which is Black Friday planning for beauty businesses. So if you've never ran a Black Friday special before, maybe you have in the past and it didn't go very well, maybe you just want to make your sale even better this year, then this is the episode for you. We're going to deep dive into all things Black Friday planning. And if you did listen to last year's episode on this, it is going to be a little bit different. So stick with me here, okay? So first and foremost, when I was a lash artist, I didn't ever run a Black Friday special, and that was because I was typically booked and I didn't feel like I needed to. However, it can be a really great beneficial thing, and if I was still doing services, I definitely would be running some type of promo for Black Friday because I feel like it can be a way to help you boost retail sales, boost add-ons, and just help you make more money because Black Friday, people are expecting to spend some cash, okay? They're expecting to spend some money. They're wanting to spend some money. So why not take advantage of that, especially with your client base who already knows you, likes you, and trusts you? The first thing that I actually wanted to share with you guys today is we sent out a form to all of our social media management clients in October to get all the information that we needed from them for Black Friday, because the better that you plan and prepare this ahead of time, the more successful that you will be with it and the less stress you're going to have around it, especially if you can get all of your posts and all of your emails and everything planned out ahead of time, created ahead of time, and scheduled ahead of time. That way, the only thing you have to worry about on Black Friday or whenever you do your sale is like eating turkey and taking naps and spending time with your family and not having to worry about sending out emails and making posts and like being on social media all day long. So I want you to start planning and preparing now so that you can just enjoy your family time, because for me, that is absolutely the most important thing. I don't want to be worrying about all this extra. And especially when you are a business owner, you already have so much on your plate. You're already so busy all of the time. A holiday should be a day where you just get to like sit and relax, right? At least in my opinion. So if there's anything that you can do ahead of time to plan and prepare and schedule, not only is it going to make it more successful, but it's going to be a lot less stress and overwhelm and burnout for you. So definitely in your best interest to start planning and preparing now. We sent out this form to all of our social media management clients in October. This is what it has on the form. The first question is, are you going to run a promotion for any of these? Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, or Cyber Monday. You don't even necessarily have to do it on any of those days or associated with any of those days, but this time of year, people are expecting to spend money. They're looking for sales, things like that. They're looking for holiday gifts and things for their loved ones. So you don't always have to run it on these dates. We actually have some clients who do like a Pink Friday and they do it the week before. That way it's done and out of the way and they don't have to worry about it the week of the holiday. So don't feel like you are like stuck in a box with what you can do with this or what days you can run this. because you do have flexibility on that. But again, planning, preparing, awareness ahead of time so that they know when you are going to be running your sale. Are you going to run a promo? And if so, what dates do you want it to run? That's going to be important because once you have those dates on the calendar, now we can start planning your launch ahead of time. So the next question that we asked them was to list out what the promotions or specials that they would be running, what are those going to be, what dates they're going to run for, and any other relevant details for the promotions, any exclusions or fine print for the promotions. You definitely want to write it out, what dates, what's happening, who is this applicable to, who is this not applicable to, or there's any fine print with this, like rules, exclusions, things like that. That way, you have all the details all written out and it's already figured out, right? The next thing is, what are your main goals for your Black Friday promotions? Because if you're like, okay, well, I want to do something, but I'm not quite sure what, this is where to start, okay? So what is your main goal for your Black Friday promos? Because there's a lot of different goals that you could be having with this. That could be to boost sales, to drive new or past client bookings, to launch a new product or service, to increase brand awareness, or to grow your email list, to drive like membership sales if you do memberships at all, or there's other goals that you could be having as well, whether that's driving like service add-ons, retail sales, things like that. Think about these things, keep these in mind because your goal can really help you decide like what promo to do. Because if you want to like run a promotion, your goal is to get new clients, then the promotion needs to be towards new clients, not your current ones. Or you could run a promo that kind of incentivizes your current clients to add on other services, to buy retail, to maybe do service packages to keep coming in over time. There's a lot of different ways that you can be strategic with this. And I do feel like, especially if you're solo, the easiest and most effective Black Friday promotion that I've found for service providers is to do like service packages because it does encourage them to keep coming back in over time. So that's where like, okay, say they buy a package for 5 lash fills and they get it for the price of 4 lash fills. So maybe they get 5 fills for $400 with the package or for $450 with the package. Maybe they get $50 off or something, right? They have to prepay for that up front, and now they're going to be coming in for at least 5 different fills. And that also gives you the opportunity to do retail sales when they come back again. That gives you the opportunity to do upsells and add-ons when they come back again. But you do have to plan this out ahead of time because if they're prepaying for all of this, then they're obviously not going to be paying for their service at the time of service. So you need to plan financially well around this. And still somehow maybe encourage tips. I don't know. However you want to do that. But keep in mind, they might not leave a tip if it's already prepaid for. So a couple things to take into consideration there. But that would be something that would incentivize current clients. And that could also incentivize new clients too, because they would be getting a deal. And then that would be getting them to come back in and again and again. If you wanted to launch like a new product or service, that's probably best going to be done with your current clientele, right? Because they already know you, like you, and trust you. You're not trying to get people who don't know you, don't know who you are, don't know anything about you to book an appointment with you. Let's do a little masterclass, small mini training, okay? So and if you've listened to past episodes, you've probably heard me talk about this before, but there's a cold audience. So you have 3 different audience types, right? So cold audience, they don't know who you are. They don't know anything about you. They've never heard of you before. Warm audience, maybe they've heard of you before. They've seen some of your content. They've looked you up before. They know a little bit about what you do, right? They are aware of your business. Hot audience. This is people who know you, like you, trust you. Maybe they've booked with you before. Maybe they've asked about booking. Maybe they're interested in booking. Like they are ready to convert into a paying client, right? So your Black Friday promotions are going to best be done and most effectively be done with your warm and hot leads. This isn't necessarily a great time to try and bring in people from the cold audience to buy with you. Can that happen? Absolutely. Is it a little more involved and a little harder? For sure. There's more planning and strategic promo, especially when it comes to like the visibility piece of it. And typically, if you're going to be trying to sell to a cold audience, that's going to link in with like paid ads and stuff that to actually convert at a high rate. So something just to keep in mind most of the time with this, the most effectively unless you do have an ads budget and you have a way to set that up and get it to convert. You're typically going to be selling to people who already know what your business is. Maybe they've booked with you before, they're a current client, maybe they already follow you on social media, something like that, okay? So just something to keep in mind. But back to where I even started this whole rambling rant at is your main goal. Figure out what do you want to be driving with your promo. Maybe that's like a service that doesn't get booked as much, or retail that you want to drive more awareness around, or a new service. Maybe you're adding on permanent jewelry, you're adding on brow laminations, adding on lash lifts, things like that. Think about what your goal is, and then you can build your promo around that towards the specific audience that would buy or benefit from that the most. The next question that we asked on the form was, who is your main target audience for this promo? So is this current clients? Is this new clients? Is this cold audience? Is this moms? Is this business owners? Like, who would benefit the most? Who are we really targeting with this promotion and campaign? And laying that out, getting specific on it. So that way you can cater every part of the campaign, every part of the content, every part of the sale to them, and also know like how to best reach them, which is obviously important. The next thing is to think about any specific branding that you want used. What visuals do you have in mind for the promo? Do you have certain fonts, colors, logos? Do you have like a certain vibe or look or feel that you want for this? Because you're obviously going to have to create some promo for this, probably some graphics, probably some videos, and like get all of that put together. So kind of get the visual aspect of it nailed down. You can also like really use Pinterest to help you with this, make like a mood board for it if you're going to go all out for it. But yeah, think about what you want it to visually look like, because yes, we need to know how it's going to feel, what the messaging is going to be behind it, who the target audience is, all of these different pieces. But we also need to figure out like, what do we want this to look like, right? That's also a very important part of things. So then we also asked them if there were any other relevant details that we needed to know. So maybe if there's a preferred tone, like brand tone or message, whether they wanted that to be fun and hype or luxe and exclusive, more community feel, more gratitude type of feel. Then also kind of think about strategically launch-wise, are you going to be offering early access to VIPs, to your email list, to returning customers? Like, what does that look like? So some of this can be maybe more so targeted or towards like brands, or if you have products or retail like VIPs. Service providers probably don't have like a VIP list or anything. But if you have like a product brand, which we do work with some product brands, that might be more applicable. But, just think about, is there going to be anything special happening, or like, how do you want the layout of this to be? Now that you have this figured out, and if you obviously like write this down, take some time, re-listen to it if you need to, and write out what these answers to these questions are, because the next thing I'm going to have you do is actually plan it out on the calendar. So we actually use a project management system called Asana for this. When you're solo, you don't really need anything that fancy, but you do need a calendar of some sort. So whether it's in a project management system like Asana, or whether it's on a Google Calendar or your phone calendar or a written calendar, it doesn't matter. Put it on a calendar though, because I don't know, maybe it's just me, but the visually seeing things helps me so much. So I want that for you too, so that you can see it on the calendar, what's happening, which days, what content you need, planning it all out. Once you have the dates figured out that you're going to run the sale, that's the first thing you're going to put on the calendar. So put the dates for the sale on the calendar, and then go the 3 to 5 days before that, and probably more like 3 to 4 days before that, you're going to have like, that's when you've announced the sale. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. We're talking about this. We're getting a lot of awareness about this. We're getting the word out there. You don't want to do it too soon, because you don't want people to like wait to book or wait to buy for the sale if they already know like, oh, there's something coming, like there's a sale happening in November, so like I'm not going to book right now. You don't want to give it to them too soon. Black Friday is November 28th. say you were going to run it from November 28th to December 1st. That would be from that Friday to that Monday. What I would personally do with that is I would actually start talking about that probably the Saturday or Sunday before the sale. And that's actually a little bit longer than I normally do because you just heard me say 3 to 4 days before. So typically that's what I do for launches is we're going to do awareness on it 3 to 4 days, like the immediate 3 to 4 days before the sale, right? But because it is a holiday, people aren't always on their phones. There's a lot going on. You want to kind of announce just a tiny bit sooner, not too soon, but a little bit sooner than that, 3 to 4 days. So if you're going to run it on Black Friday weekend, I would probably announce like the Saturday or Sunday before. So like that 22nd or 23rd, and then be talking about it every day up until when the sale happens. That way there's a lot of awareness about it. People know what's going on. During that time, if you have an email list, which if you don't, it is very easy to, if you're collecting emails with your current clients, put all of those into an email list platform, and that way you can easily send out an email to them, which if you're using an online booking site, a lot of them do have the capability to send out emails now. So you should be able to at least send it to base minimum your current clients, okay? So you can send out an email during this awareness time just so they know what's happening. A lot of people do check their emails specifically on Black Friday too, because there's a lot going on. They want to know what sales are happening. Like they're going out and looking for it, or at least I know I do. So it's a good thing to send out an email if you're able to and like schedule those to go out. So you have the sale dates on the calendar. Let's say we're doing the 28th to the 1st. Our awareness period would be the 22nd to the 27th. So that's a little bit longer, like I was saying, than I would normally do. But because it's a holiday, we want to make sure there's a lot of awareness around it, but not too much, okay? There's a fine line. There's a fine balance here. So that week before that, probably even that whole week before, the 17th to the 21st, you're going to be teasing that something's coming. Like, I've got something exciting. Something cool is really happening for Black Friday. Keep your eyes out. Something's dropping soon. Something's happening. Like, we're getting hype. This is what you call the hype phase, okay? We're getting hype about this. We're getting people excited. We're dropping hints. We're dropping clues. We're, like, getting people, like, sign up for the email list if you want to be the first to know. Like, turn on your post notifications for me so you make sure not to miss it. There's something coming, okay? So I would just gradually, like the 17th to 21st, like start dropping hints, like start getting that hype phase. And then, okay, Saturday, you announce it. And then the next week you run the sale. Okay, so I know that makes more sense for me because I'm looking at the calendar, but let me lay that out just one more time for you. So you have a hype phase. This is typically about 3 to 5 days of just, we're dropping hints, we're telling them something's coming, we're getting people excited, we're getting them curious about what's going to be happening. So 3 to 5 days of that. I wouldn't do too much of this. I've seen people where they're hyping things up, they're dropping hints, they're teasing stuff, and they're not telling the people what it is for like 2 or 3 weeks, or sometimes I've even seen people do it for like a month or more. It's just too much. People lose interest, okay? We want to try and get their interest and keep their interest and keep their curiosity. So 3 to 5 days of teasing, of the hype phase, of we got something coming, and then you're going to announce the sale. The sale isn't happening yet, but we're announcing it. We're getting that awareness happening, letting them know the sale's happening on this day. This is who it's for. This is what it is. This is why you're going to love it. And you're going to be so annoying about this sale, okay? You're gonna be posting about it every day on your posts, in your stories. You can send out emails if you would like, but it's going to feel annoying and obnoxious to be talking about it so much, but you have to keep talking about it. So awareness days, you're posting about the sale each day at least one time. Now, I'm not saying you have to like go so hardcore, post multiple times a day and be like online all the time, any of that. But what I am saying is schedule one post for each day of the awareness phase. You can even schedule a post for each day of the hype phase. You can even schedule a post for each day of the whole entire thing, okay? But we're staying consistent and we're not going to stop talking about it just because we talked about it yesterday, or just because it feels like no one's liking or buying or listening or whatever. It's going to feel kind of annoying. But as my coach who taught me this years ago, 6+ years ago, said, you don't unplug the cookies, okay? You're kind of baking these cookies. You've put them in the oven now when you're posting about it. And now we're not going to unplug it just because they're not quite baked yet. Okay. You got to leave it on and keep it cooking, keep them baking. Okay. Because at the end, you're going to have these yummy cookies and get all these sales and it's going to be great, but you have to be patient in the meantime. Okay. So let me lay this out for you one more time. If you are going to run a sale, say from, just to give you an example, the 28th to the 1st, those would be your sale dates. The 22nd to the 27th would be awareness. We're just posting about the sale, letting people know what's happening. And then the 17th to the 21st would be your hype phase. So that would be 4 or 5 days of just like, hey, here's what we've got something coming, hinting, getting people excited. Okay. So hype phase, awareness phase, then actual sale days. And typically with sales, I'm just going to put this out there. You're going to get the most sales the first day and the last day. And sometimes it kind of slows down a little bit in the middle. And that's normal. Don't unplug the cookies, okay? But this is what it would look like to kind of plan the launch around this. Once you have these dates on the calendar, then you can start figuring out, okay, what posts do I need? What graphics do I need? What videos do I need? What photos do I need to promote this? And then you can start creating those, make yourself a list of here's everything I need to make in Canva. Here's everything I need to edit on CapCut. Here's all the videos I need to take. Here's all the photos I need to take. You can get all of that done and batch work it and just like, okay, I'm going to take all the photos at once. I'm going to take all the videos at the same time. And then I'm going to go edit them all, going to put, take the hour to create the videos, create the graphics, do all the stuff. And then you can schedule them to go up. So we use a post scheduler called Metricool, and that is really great because you can actually schedule across multiple platforms with just one upload. So you can have that go up on Facebook, Instagram, Google Business Profile, TikTok, even Pinterest, YouTube, which I don't feel like those are as beneficial, but definitely Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Google Business Profile. Now, you can't schedule videos to Google Business Profile, and I don't think you can schedule static posts, which is just like a single photo, to TikTok either, from Metricool anyway. So there's a little bit of variance there, but the point of this is that you can schedule these things to go up on all these platforms with one upload, customize what you wanted to say on each platform, and then it's all scheduled to go up for you. You can spend time with your family and enjoy that time while making sales. But the next thing you also have to think about if you want this to go over seamlessly is how are they going to be buying, booking, or purchasing these things? So now we've figured out what our sale is. We've planned out the launch on the calendar. We've created the content for it. We've got it scheduled. Everything looks good. It's ready to go up. The last thing you have to kind of figure out is how are they booking or buying, right? So if they're going to be pre-purchasing a package, like, is that an option on your booking site? Do we need to make like a PayPal link for it? What does that look like? What is next steps? And how are you going to make that a super, super, super easy process for them to where they get all the information they need about the promo and like all the details for it, and then they're able to book it or buy it easily, okay? So typically you're going to need some type of online setup or purchase link to make this go over seamlessly without you having to do in-person sales or without you having to like be actively online and responding to DMs and stuff to be able to make these sales. You don't have to have to send out your Venmo every time someone wants to purchase from you. Right? You need some type of online link that they can purchase on. If you don't have a website or a booking site that has that capability for you, you could set up, like I said, like a PayPal link or like a Stripe link or something like that. And if it's like products or retail and you do have the online link, you can set it up as like local pickup or shipping. There's options with that. But then also keep in mind, if you do run your sale on days that you are in your spa or salon or your location, then you can be talking about these promos or the packages, retail packages, service packages with your current clients too. And I definitely would recommend, if you do have a promo that would be something that could be bought or purchased by your current clients, to make sure that you are talking to them about the sale in person, that all of them are aware about it, they know about it beforehand during that awareness phase, right? Or even during the hype phase, tell them in person like what's going to be coming, right? So make sure you're talking about it, and then make sure you have a way for them to easily buy or purchase on Black Friday weekend or on Cyber Monday, on Small Business Saturday, if those are the days that you're going to be running it. That way they can just easily book it or purchase it online, and it's all taken care of. And then you don't have to be in your DMs doing sales all weekend long, because trust me, I've been there with my online business. It's really not that fun to feel like you need to sit there on your phone all weekend, okay? So I hope this was super helpful for you. It's just to kind of recap. So we have our planning phase. We are planning out what's happening, who's it for, when's it running, and then we have our preparation phase. We are planning out on the calendar, when is the sale happening? When is our awareness phase? When's our hype phase? And then what content do we need for those things? What emails do we need to schedule for that? What flyers do we need to print out to put up in person? What do we need to do to advertise this? And then also in the preparing phase, making sure you've got all your content scheduled, your emails are scheduled, everything's ready to go up. And then also making sure you have some type of easy, convenient, detail-oriented, understandable next step for purchasing or booking with you. Okay, that way they can easily book the package, they can easily buy the product, whatever that looks like, and you don't have to be on your phone the whole time, okay? So those are the different phases of planning a strategic, efficient, successful Black Friday sale for your beauty business. And really, you can use these things to plan a sale for any time of the year, not just with Black Friday, because the launch planning and all of that looks very similar. You've got your planning phase, your preparing phase, your launch phase, and then it's your go time, right? And just keep in mind, there's probably going to be some technology problems at some point. There's probably going to be hiccups along the road, but pivot, adjust, work through it. It's going to be okay. You're going to get through it. Don't overthink things. People will buy, okay? And don't get in your head about it if people are not right away. Keep talking about it, keep promoting it, and stick with it, because I promise you that will be more beneficial for you in the end. And I hope you have the most successful Black Friday yet. If you have questions on this, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or TikTok at XOErikaShan. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have on this. And if you loved this episode, please take a screenshot of it, tag me on your Instagram stories so that we can reach other beauty professionals online, and also make sure you're subscribed to the show so that you can get notified when new episodes go live every Tuesday. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk again next week.